Menopause brings a lot of changes for women, short-term and long-term. Nutrition can play a key role in improving some of the impacts. With those details, registered dietitian Andrea Hallwegner, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks for having me.
All
We're
right.
talking menopause with a guy.
That's
always
right.
Good.
I know. I hope my mom's watching. Exactly. So let's talk about at menopause. What is kind of on the rise for women typically?
So lots of things are changing, of course, as estrogen levels fall. We've got an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. We have digestion changes. So sometimes people struggle with a little more constipation as their hormone levels fall. We have changes in bone loss. And then, of course, we've got some weight gain that typically happens for women through menopause.
Yeah, you say those are some of the typical things that happen to women. Of course, everyone's a little different, but those are the most common ones. So you say diet plays a huge role in this, and you can kind of change some of those, right?
You bet. So I brought in sort of 3 classes of food. I could have thought of a whole bunch of different ones, but I wanted to give people a couple of the key foods to think about through menopause. The first one being dried plums. And of course, this is the new sort of more trend-setting way to talk about prunes.
Yeah, I was going to say, dried plum sounds like a prune to me,
There
but we'll
you
call them
go.
dried plums.
There you go, of course. So whole food advocates know, of course, that this is one of the best natural ways to treat constipation without any medication. But what you might be surprised to know is there's some new research to suggest 5 California-based prunes per day can actually slow bone loss in women. And it's not because there's a significant amount of calcium in there. We actually think it actually works right on the bone to help stimulate bone.
Well, that's incredible. And I see you've kind of prepared it in a nice kind of trail mixy kind of way. Are there pretzels in there?
Yes, this is a peanut butter pretzel, and I've got some pumpkin
treat.
seeds. Of course, your prunes in there, almonds. I like to make my own because then they're just a little bit more fun. And then overnight oats. This is a fall version, so I've got some chia seeds, some oats, almond milk in there, and then you just leave that overnight. Toss in some of your dried plums and apples, and you're set.
Dried plums, I like it. All right, let's move on to the middle. Fish, fish always seems to be good for everything. So how does it help?
It's pretty good for everything, you bet. So omega-3 fats in fish, as well as ground flax seeds, if you're someone that doesn't consume fish, really great for keeping the blood less sticky and protecting against heart disease overall. We also know that some of the menopause-based symptoms, such as hot flashes, can actually benefit from even just a little bit more flax seeds into your diet. So great, simple way to do fish. All you need is literally olive oil, some lemon, salt and pepper, or your favorite sort of seasoning blend. Throw that on the grill or in the oven, and that's as simple as that.
Yeah, that sounds excellent.
Doesn't have to be complicated.
Yeah, and now we have some things that obviously could be eaten for breakfast as well.
You bet. So third sort of thing we're thinking about here is oats and bran. So we're after fiber here again for that digestive health, but also we know that psyllium-based fiber in things like your psyllium-based cereals and brands, even apple here in my overnight oats, really good for reducing cholesterol levels. So gotta have oats and bran in your diet.
It looks good.
Good stuff.
I like this one with the apples in it. I might even take a little of that.
Oh,
cinnamon.
There you go.
Yeah, just for
I
the
can
taste.
smell the aroma.
Yeah. Now tell us, how often should you consume this stuff? Like with each meal, kind of? Is that what you're suggesting?
You know, it's a variety, right? So the research on bone health for prunes is based on a daily consumption of 5. So that's only about 100 calories. And certainly a natural way to get a little bit more sweetness in your diet. So if you have a sweet tooth, that would be my recommendation there. For fish, if you could get in fish a couple of times a week, that would be awesome. And again, if you're not a big fan of fish, then at least get some flax seeds in every day. And fiber and oats and bran, the more you can get that in, the better. I would say starting the day off with a bran muffin or some oatmeal or oat bran, always good to do.
Keep everything moving. Now, I got a quick question about the fish. Obviously, that's, fresh fish. Can fish count as well, or should you always go for the fresh?
You can definitely count. Of course, canned salmon is going to be much higher in those omega-3 fats than a canned tuna, but absolutely. Or sushi, one of our favorites, of course, also a great way to get some more fish into your diet.
All right. Well, next time I go for a lunch date with my mom, I'll know what to order.
There you go.
All right, Andrea, thanks a lot for coming by.
Thank you.
Really appreciate this. And for more information, head to healthstandnutrition.com.